Welcome back, the channel Rare Coins All World. Coin enthusiasts. Today, we have something truly special to talk about, a coin that's been turning heads in the world of numismatics and could be sitting right in your coin jar. That's right, we're talking about the United States 1972 half dollar, a coin that, while not exactly rare in terms of mintage, can still fetch an incredible price when found in pristine condition or with unique characteristics. If you think this old coin is just another half dollar, think again, there's more to it than meets the eye. Let's start by setting the stage with a little background about the 1972 half dollar. The US half dollar has a long and storied history. Since the 18th century, half dollars have been in circulation, and over the years, they've undergone various changes in design and composition. By 1972, the coin had transitioned into a copper-nickel-clad composition, which made it distinct from earlier versions that were composed of silver. The 1972 half dollar, which features the famous design of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse, was minted in large numbers. This was during a period when the U.S. Mint was still producing coins in abundance to meet the needs of a rapidly growing economy. The reverse of the coin showcases the familiar heraldic eagle, a design that's been synonymous with the half dollar since its introduction in 1948. It's a clean, classic design, nothing too flashy, but with a symbolic weight that has made it a lasting piece of American currency. Now, you might be wondering, what makes this particular coin stand out from the others in the series? After all, the 1972 half dollar isn't exactly considered rare when you look at how many were produced. In fact, over 100 million of these coins were minted that year. But here's where things get interesting. While most of these coins are relatively easy to come by in circulated conditions, there's a specific factor that can make one of them truly valuable. Like many coins, the 1972 half dollar was subject to occasional minting errors. Some of these errors were small, like double dies, where the image on the coin is imprinted more than once, resulting in a slightly blurry or exaggerated design. The 1972 half dollar is especially notable for the presence of a double die error, which was found on certain coins from that year. This error is a result of a misalignment during the minting process, and it can be found most clearly on the obverse, around the date and sometimes in the lettering of Liberty and In God We Trust. Collectors absolutely love these kinds of errors, as they add a unique and historical aspect to the coin. So, how much can you expect to get for a 1972 half dollar with this error? Well, here's where it gets exciting. Depending on the quality and the extent of the error, a 1972 half dollar can fetch anywhere from a few hundred to a few $1,000s if in decent condition. But hold on, if you've got a pristine, error-free 1972 half dollar in your possession, things could get much more interesting. If you are lucky enough to have one of these coins in near mint or uncirculated condition, the value skyrockets. A coin that is graded well, say, in MS-65 condition or better, could easily fetch a significant price from collectors, as uncirculated coins are much rarer than those that were used in everyday transactions. However, there's one particular 1972 half dollar coin that has captured the attention of serious collectors and investors alike. This coin, a well-preserved example with the double die error, sold for a mind-blowing amount at auction. Are you ready to hear the jaw-dropping figure? If you have one of these rare and high-grade coins in your collection, you could be looking at a potential value of $66,000. That's right, $66,000 for a single coin. Who would have thought that a simple half dollar could be worth so much? It's an incredible reminder of how the world of numismatics works. Sometimes a coin that might seem like just another piece of history can hold an immense amount of value if it has the right characteristics. The 1972 half dollar, especially in the condition and with the minting errors we've discussed, is a perfect example of how the market for rare coins can turn an overlooked piece of currency into a treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. So, how can you tell if your 1972 half dollar is worth more than face value? First, examine the coin closely. Look for any signs of doubling on the date or the lettering. If the coin has been well preserved and is in excellent condition, you could have a highly valuable piece on your hands. And, of course, Don't forget to have it professionally graded by a reputable grading service, as this can make all the difference in determining its true value in the marketplace. In conclusion, the 1972 United States half-dollar is a fantastic example of how a common coin can hold great value under the right circumstances. While the coin itself was minted in large numbers, its value is greatly influenced by its condition and any rare minting errors it might have. So, the next time you're going through your coin collection or checking your change jar, take a closer look at your 1972 half-dollar. You might just have a hidden treasure worth far more than you ever imagined. Today, we have a very exciting topic, one that could be hiding right under your nose. We're going to talk about the iconic United States half-dollar, minted in 1776 to 1976. This special coin is a true piece of American history and, believe it or not, it could be worth a small fortune. Stick around until the end of the video, because we're going to reveal just how much this coin could be worth if you have the right one. Now, let's talk about why this half-dollar is so unique. The 1776 to 1976 half-dollar was issued as part of the United States bicentennial celebrations in 1976. This coin commemorates 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence and the birth of the United States of America. It was a major milestone for the country, and the U.S. Mint released a special coin to mark the occasion. If you look closely at the design, you'll notice something different from the regular Kennedy half-dollar that was in circulation at the time. On the obverse, the 1776 to 1976 half-dollar features the well-known portrait of John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, which had been on half-dollars since 1964. But what makes this particular coin special is the reverse side. Instead of the standard eagle design, the reverse features an image of the Liberty Bell, alongside the moon. The idea behind this design was to honor both the nation's independence and the space race, as 1976 was also the year of the Apollo missions. The Liberty Bell symbolizes freedom and independence, while the moon represents America's achievements in space exploration. It's a beautiful, historic design that reflects both the past and the future of the United States. Now, let's talk about how many of these coins were made. The 1776 to 1976 half-dollar was issued in massive quantities. The U.S. Mint produced over 400 million of these coins in 1975 and 1976, as it was part of a nationwide celebration. As you might expect, with that many coins being minted, most of them were used in daily transactions, which means they were subject to wear and tear over time. So, if you're wondering whether you have a rare, high-value coin, it all comes down to one thing: condition. The key to understanding the value of a 1776 to 1976 half-dollar lies in its condition, and not just any ordinary condition. Most of the coins were used in circulation and are now in average or below average condition. They may have scratches, dents, or discoloration from years of handling. However, coins that have been well preserved, stored in original mint condition, or kept in specially protected packaging are far more valuable. If you find one in a pristine, uncirculated state, that's when the magic happens. The value of these coins increases dramatically, as collectors are always seeking high-quality examples of historic coins. But wait, there's more. There's a rare variant of the 1776 to 1976 half-dollar that collectors go absolutely wild for. It's known as the double die variety. What does that mean? In simple terms, a double die occurs when the coin's die, the stamp used to imprint the design onto the coin, is misaligned during the minting process. This results in a doubling of certain elements of the design, such as the date or the lettering, which creates a distinctive, easily noticeable effect. On the 1776 to 1976 half-dollar, you'll see doubling on the Liberty or In God We Trust inscriptions, and sometimes even the date itself. If you happen to have one of these rare double die coins, you're holding something extremely valuable. To give you an idea of just how valuable these coins can be, let's take a look at some real-world examples. While most 1776 to 1976 half-dollars are worth their face value or just a small premium for those in mint condition, a high-grade, well-preserved example with the double die error can be worth tens of thousands of dollars. A coin in perfect, uncirculated condition with the error could easily fetch up to $70,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that right, $70,000 for a single coin. So, how do you know if your 1776 to 1976 half dollar is one of these rare and valuable specimens? Start by examining the coin closely. Look for any signs of doubling on the lettering or numbers. If you notice a doubled appearance on the date, the word Liberty, or In God We Trust, there's a good chance you found a coin worth significantly more than its face value. You'll also want to check the overall condition. Coins that are well preserved, without any major marks, scratches, or discoloration, are much more valuable. If you're unsure about the authenticity or condition of your coin, it's always a good idea to have it graded by a professional. Certified grading services can assess the quality of the coin and give you an official grade, which will determine its value in the marketplace. A high-quality, certified coin can open the door to lucrative offers from collectors and investors. In addition to the regular 1776 to 1976 half dollar, the U.S. Mint also issued a special silver version of the coin for collectors. These silver coins, made from 40% silver, were minted in limited numbers and are much rarer than the copper-nickel-clad coins that circulated widely. If you have one of these silver versions, it's definitely worth checking its condition and potential value as well. Silver coins typically carry a premium over their face value due to the metal's intrinsic worth, so a silver 1776 to 1976 half dollar might be worth even more. In conclusion, the 1776 to 1976 half dollar is a fascinating piece of American history and a coin that holds significant potential value for collectors. While most of these coins are not worth much more than face value, those in exceptional condition, especially those with the double die error, can fetch a truly impressive amount. If you have one of these rare, high-grade coins in your collection, you might just be holding onto a treasure worth $70,000. Today, we have a truly fascinating coin to talk about, one that's been quietly gaining the attention of collectors and investors alike. That's right. We're diving into the world of the United States 1973 half dollar, a coin that might just be worth far more than you'd expect. So, if you've got one of these coins lying around or in your collection, stick around because you won't want to miss out on the surprising value this coin could hold. Let's start by taking a trip back in time to 1973. The United States was experiencing a period of transition. Richard Nixon was president, and the country was in the midst of economic and political change. The 1970s marked a pivotal era in American history, and the U.S. Mint had its hands full producing coins for circulation during these turbulent years. While the 1973 half dollar was part of the standard circulation coins, this particular year holds a significant place in the coin world, especially when we look closer at its condition and special features. The 1973 half dollar, like most of its time, features the iconic portrait of John F. Kennedy on the obverse side. This design, created by Gilroy Roberts, has become one of the most recognized and beloved images on U.S. coins. JFK's likeness on the half dollar was first introduced in 1964, following his tragic assassination, and it has remained a fixture on this coin ever since. On the reverse side of the 1973 half dollar, we see the classic heraldic eagle design, which has symbolized the United States since the late 1940s. Now, you may be asking, what makes the 1973 half dollar stand out in the world of coin collecting? After all, it was minted in large quantities, with millions of these coins entering circulation. While it's true that most 1973 half dollars don't carry a huge premium, the value of this coin can skyrocket when it's in exceptional condition or has certain rare features. One of the key factors that determine the value of the 1973 half dollar is its condition. Like any coin, the better the condition, the more valuable it becomes. Most of these coins saw heavy use in daily transactions, so they were subject to wear and tear. Coins that have been circulated show signs of scratches, dings, and discoloration. However, the ones that were kept in pristine, uncirculated condition are much rarer and can fetch a significant price. So, if you've kept your 1973 half dollar in a safe place, it might be worth a lot more than you think, but here's where it gets even more interesting. In addition to the standard 1973 half dollar, there's a rare variant that collectors will go wild for. Some of the 1973 half dollars have been found with striking minting errors, and these errors can dramatically increase the value of the coin. The most common type of error on these coins is called a double die. This happens when the coin's die, the tool used to strike the design into the coin, shifts slightly during the minting process. This results in doubled images on the coin, which can be seen in the date, lettering, or other parts of the design. So, how do you identify a double die error on your 1973 half dollar? Well, you'll want to look closely at the date and inscriptions on the coin. On a double die coin, the numbers in the date or the words like Liberty or In God We Trust may appear slightly doubled or blurry. This is a clear indication that you might have found a rare and valuable coin. In addition to the double die error, there are also coins that were struck with incorrect alignment, resulting in off-center strikes. These coins are much harder to come by, and they can be highly sought after by serious collectors. If you happen to find a 1973 half dollar with this type of error, you could be looking at a piece worth significantly more than face value. Now, let's get to the real question: how much is a 1973 half dollar worth? If you have a well-preserved, uncirculated coin, you're already looking at a coin that could bring in a decent amount of money. However, if you have one of the rare error coins, especially the double die variety, the value can increase dramatically. Coins in pristine condition or with rare minting errors have been known to fetch tens of thousands of dollars at auction. In fact, a well-preserved, high-grade 1973 half dollar with a double die error or another minting anomaly could be worth as much as $75,000. That's right, $75,000 for a single coin. It's a truly remarkable amount for a coin that most people wouldn't think twice about. So, how do you go about determining if your 1973 half dollar is one of these rare and valuable specimens? The first step is to closely examine your coin. Look for any doubling in the date or lettering, and pay attention to any unusual markings or errors that might have occurred during the minting process. If you suspect that you found an error coin, it's a good idea to have it professionally graded by a certified numismatist. A professional grading service can assess the condition of the coin, confirm whether it has any rare features, and assign it a grade that will help you determine its market value. In addition to error coins, if you have one of the 1973 half dollars made with silver, the coin's value will be higher due to the intrinsic value of the silver content. While most 1973 half dollars were made with a copper-nickel composition, a smaller number were struck in 40% silver, making them even more valuable. So, be sure to check your coin for silver content if you're unsure. In conclusion, the 1973 half dollar may have seemed like a simple, everyday coin when it was minted, but today it has become a true treasure for collectors. Whether you found one in perfect condition, or you're lucky enough to have one with a rare minting error, this coin could be worth far more than its face value. If you happen to have a high-grade or error coin, you might just be sitting on a goldmine worth $75,000. Today's video is something you won't want to miss. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1983 United States half dollar, a coin that, despite being relatively common in circulation, could be hiding a valuable secret. So, grab your magnifying glass, because this coin just might be worth a lot more than you think. Stick with us, because we're about to explore its unique characteristics and reveal the surprising price it could fetch. First, let's take a moment to understand the history behind the 1983 half dollar. By 1983, the U.S. Mint had been producing Kennedy half dollars for nearly 2 decades, following the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy in 1963. These coins were first introduced to honor his legacy, and the design of the half dollar, featuring Kennedy's profile on the obverse, became one of the most iconic symbols in American numismatics. The reverse side of the coin, which showcases the presidential seal with a heraldic eagle, also remained unchanged since the Kennedy series began. By the time 1983 rolled around, the half-dollar wasn't as commonly used in daily transactions, thanks to the rise of the quarter and dollar coins, and many people began to forget about this coin as a valuable piece of currency. However, the 1983 Kennedy half-dollar still had something to offer for collectors, and we'll dive into exactly why this particular year is one to keep an eye on. One key thing to note is the composition of the 1983 half-dollar. Unlike earlier issues made from 90% silver, the 1983 version was made from a copper-nickel-clad composition. This shift in material came about in the 1970s when the U.S. Mint moved away from using silver for most of its circulating coins due to the rising cost of the metal. The 1983 half-dollar is no different in this regard. It's primarily made of copper and nickel, with only a thin layer of copper-nickel clad surrounding it. While this might have made it less valuable in terms of raw metal content, there's still much more to this coin that makes it intriguing to collectors. Now, you might be wondering what makes the 1983 half-dollar particularly valuable in the world of coin collecting. After all, millions of these coins were minted, so how could one of them be worth a significant amount of money? The key to its value lies in a few important factors: condition, rarity, and mint errors. Let's start with condition. As is the case with any coin, the condition of the 1983 half-dollar plays a huge role in its value. Most of these coins that have been in circulation for decades show signs of wear, scratches, dings, and discoloration. The majority of 1983 half-dollars you'll come across are in average or well-worn condition, which means they are generally only worth their face value or just slightly above it, depending on how well they've been preserved. However, when you find one of these coins in pristine, uncirculated condition, it can be worth much more. So, what makes a coin pristine? Uncirculated coins are those that have never been used in regular circulation. They have no signs of wear or damage and often have that shiny, almost brand new look. These coins are much rarer than you might think, because most coins get circulated and show some degree of wear. If you find a 1983 half-dollar that has been stored carefully and kept in pristine condition, you're already looking at a coin that could be worth a lot more than its face value. Next, let's talk about the rarity of certain versions of the 1983 half-dollar. While the vast majority of these coins were minted for general circulation, there are certain mint marks and varieties that are more desirable to collectors. The mint marks to look for are D for Denver and S for San Francisco. While these are still relatively common, some of the 1983 half-dollars with a particular mint mark, especially those in higher grades, are more sought after. But here's where things get even more interesting: minting errors. Mint errors are one of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting because they create rare, unique pieces that stand out from the standard issue coins. Mint errors can include things like misprints, double strikes, off-center strikes, and die cracks. The 1983 half-dollar, despite being produced in large quantities, has seen its fair share of minting errors. The most sought-after errors are usually those that result in a misaligned or off-center strike, where the design appears crooked or slightly off. These types of errors are not only visually interesting but can also significantly boost the value of the coin. Collectors are always looking for these types of error coins because they are unique and add a layer of history and mystery to the coin story. If you happen to have a 1983 half-dollar with a rare minting error, you could have a truly valuable piece on your hands. A coin with an off-center strike or other distinctive error could be worth far more than its face value, especially if it's in great condition. So, what kind of price are we talking about here? Most 1983 half-dollars in average condition are worth little more than face value, but a well-preserved, uncirculated coin with no signs of wear can fetch several dollars in the market. However, if you happen to own one of the rare error coins or a coin with an extremely high grade, the value skyrockets. Some of the most pristine and error-free 1983 half-dollars have been known to sell for upwards of $78,000. Yes, you heard that right, $78,000 for a single 1983 half-dollar. You might be thinking, how can I tell if I have one of these error coins or high-grade examples? The first step is to carefully inspect your coin. Look closely at the design, particularly the alignment of the images and lettering. If you notice any misprints or off-center strikes, you could have a rare minting error. Make sure to examine the condition as well. Coins that are in uncirculated condition will show no wear at all, just that fresh, shiny look of a brand new coin. If you think you've found a potential gem, it's always a good idea to get the coin professionally graded by a reputable numismatic grading service. In conclusion, while the 1983 United States half-dollar may seem like just another coin in circulation, its value is far from ordinary. The right combination of pristine condition, rarity, and minting errors can make this coin a true treasure. If you're lucky enough to have one of these special coins, it could be worth a stunning $78,000. So, the next time you go through your coin collection or check your spare change, make sure to take a closer look. You might just be holding on to a small fortune. Today, in this video, we're diving deep into one particular coin that may have flown under the radar for many people, the United States 1988 half-dollar. While this coin may not seem like much at first glance, there are a few things about it that might just make you want to dig out your old coin collection and take a second look. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be just as excited about this coin as I am. Let's begin by talking about the 1988 half-dollar's background and the time it was minted. The United States half-dollar has been a staple of American currency for over a century, and by 1988, it was part of the ongoing Kennedy half-dollar series that had been in production since 1964. The Kennedy half-dollar was introduced after President John F. Kennedy's assassination as a tribute to his legacy, and the coin's design, featuring his portrait on the obverse, quickly became one of the most recognizable and beloved designs in U.S. coin history. By the time we reached 1988, the half-dollar wasn't as widely used in day-to-day transactions, as many Americans had switched to using smaller denominations like quarters and dollar bills for everyday purchases. In fact, by the 1980s, the Kennedy half-dollar had mostly become a collector's item, and the U.S. Mint produced these coins more for collectors and investors rather than for general circulation. While many of the 1988 half-dollars minted were likely placed into storage or used for coin sets, that doesn't mean that every 1988 half-dollar is the same. In fact, a few key factors make certain versions of this coin worth a lot more than others, and they're likely to leave you in awe when you hear the potential value. First, let's take a look at the basic design of the 1988 half-dollar. On the obverse of the coin, you'll find the iconic profile of President John F. Kennedy. Designed by Gilroy Roberts, Kennedy's likeness on the coin is a fitting tribute to the late president, symbolizing the nation's admiration for his leadership and the tragic loss of such a figure. On the reverse side, you'll find the heraldic eagle, a symbol of strength and resilience, which has appeared on U.S. coins for decades. The reverse also carries the words United States of America and half-dollar, marking this coin as a true representation of American currency. So, what makes the 1988 half-dollar stand out among its peers? Well, in terms of composition, the 1988 coin was struck from a copper-nickel-clad material, which was standard for most circulating coins after the U.S. Mint stopped using silver in the late 1960s. This copper-nickel blend meant that the 1988 half-dollar didn't have much intrinsic value in terms of its metal content. But as with any collectible coin, it's not just about the metal, it's about rarity, condition, and demand. The first and most important factor to consider when determining the value of a 1988 half-dollar is its condition. As you can probably guess, most of the coins minted that year were circulated and saw everyday use. Like most coins from this era, they show signs of wear and tear. The edges might be scuffed, the design might have faded, and the surface may have scratches or discoloration. However, the 1988 half-dollar is still relatively young compared to older coins, meaning that it's possible to find well-preserved examples, especially those that were never circulated, uncirculated or mint-state. 1988 half-dollars are much rarer than their well-worn counterparts, and they are highly prized by collectors. Coins that are in pristine condition, meaning they show no signs of wear and retain their original shine and sharp design, are worth significantly more than those in average condition. If you come across a 1988 half-dollar that has been kept in its original mint state, chances are, it could be worth quite a bit. But here's where it gets even more exciting. Some of these coins have even greater value due to one key factor: minting errors. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process. This could result in coins with misaligned designs, double strikes, off-center images, or other imperfections that make them unique and highly collectible. The 1988 half dollar is no exception to this rule. Some of these coins were struck with flaws that make them stand out, and as any coin collector knows, these error coins are some of the most desirable and valuable pieces in the market. One of the most common types of error on the 1988 half dollar is the double die variety. This happens when the coin's die is misaligned or shifts slightly during the minting process, causing the design to appear doubled. On a double die coin, you may notice that the date, the lettering, or parts of the design are blurry or appear twice. This type of error is highly sought after by collectors, as it creates a one-of-a-kind piece that stands out from the rest. If you happen to have a 1988 half dollar with a double die error, you could be looking at a coin that's worth a lot more than just its face value. Another error that collectors look for on the 1988 half dollar is an off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is struck incorrectly, and the design ends up being shifted to one side of the coin. Off-center coins are unique because they don't have the full design, and they're often viewed as oddities that collectors cherish. If you've got one of these coins, it could significantly increase the value of your 1988 half dollar. Now, let's get to the part you've all been waiting for. How much could a 1988 half dollar really be worth? Well, if you have a pristine, uncirculated coin, or even better, a coin with a rare minting error like a double die or off-center strike, the value can be truly surprising. A well-preserved 1988 half dollar can fetch several $100s, but a coin with a significant error could skyrocket in value. In fact, some of these rare, high-grade 1988 half dollars have sold for as much as $79,000. Yes, that's $79,000 for a single coin. A coin that you might have dismissed as just another piece of pocket change could turn out to be a goldmine for collectors. So, what should you do if you think you have one of these rare, valuable coins? The first step is to carefully examine your 1988 half dollar for any signs of minting errors. Look for doubled images in the date or lettering, or check for off-center strikes. If the coin appears to be in pristine condition with little to no wear, it might also be worth getting it professionally graded. A professional grading service can assess its quality and determine its true value, so you'll know exactly what you've got in your hands. In conclusion, while the 1988 United States half dollar may seem like a run-of-the-mill coin at first, it holds some incredible potential for collectors. Whether you're lucky enough to find one in mint condition, or you stumble upon a rare error coin, this coin could be worth much more than face value. So, don't just overlook your spare change, take a closer look at your 1988 half dollars, because you might just be sitting on a small fortune worth $79,000. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed learning about the hidden value of the 1988 half dollar, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on more coin discoveries. Until next time, happy collecting, and may your next find be worth far more than you ever imagined.